Welcome back to Northwest Roundup. Firstly, welcome Danny Foster, our guest today.
Let's start with Coronation Street, shall we? Looks as though the street is still on fire after the factory went up in flames. Is Rana going to survive it? So let's have a look at what's happening on the street.
I don't care what you do, I just want Carla to pay.
I'm going to teach him his dodgy works a lesson.
What's going on, Robert? What do you want?
Just see your whole world come crashing down.
I don't really know how anyone can be getting bored of Coronation Street at this point, but let's hope Kate finds some happiness.
Yes, I can't wait to find out whether Rana makes it out alive or not.
Yes, let's see whether Carla decides to own up or not. It's going to be another shocking episode next week, so make sure you keep up to date. So how is Carla going to dig herself out of this one? Is Peter going to save her once again?
Or is she going to end up in jail?
So, moving on. How will Sally and Tim go on after his sudden heart attack?
Yes, these storylines just keep getting better. Find out next week if he's going to survive. Time to catch up on other soaps from this week. Let's see how they compare to this gripping episode.
While looking at it, there's some shocking news when it comes to EastEnders, as Tiffany reveals rape horror to Jack.
This storyline is very gripping and at the same time quite a tough subject to talk about for many people.
However, it is a great way to get people talking about such a tough subject.
So it's all going to start coming out in these upcoming episodes.
The storyline is very shocking and we will have to see where it goes without giving too much away. But I can tell you, you may hear some Coronation Street spoilers later in the show when we interview our behind the scenes guests.
So a very gripping week for soaps and lots more gripping storylines to come. But for now, that's all we have time for. It's been good having you on the show and we will see you again next week.
It's been lovely to be on the show.
Now let's go behind the scenes of Coronation Street with one of their team and find out the latest gossip and updates.
Dan, thank you so much for joining us on the set of Britain's most famous soap, Coronation Street. We can actually hear the outside broadcast band in the background of this VT, so we really thank you for sparing us your time. You've been earning your living at being an extra on Coronation Street for the last 2 years. How has that been? Tell us about it.
Well, Coronation Street's the longest running soap in the world, I think, isn't it? So, as you know, as an actor, when you're in theatre school and you're doing these small productions, you really dream of ending up on something like Coronation Street. It's a shame that I haven't yet sort of had a central role in Corrie, but you know, the other thing is in acting, it's quite a fickle game. So to have constant work is a real positive.
Of course. Do you feel you've learned something from being an extra on Coronation Street?
Every day, yeah. So the efficiency that they shoot things in is unbelievable. You know, how quickly they can get those things out and how they've modernised. So I don't know if you're a big Coronation Street fan, but recently they've introduced a first Caribbean family ever in Coronation Street. So they're really trying to reflect what modern Britain's like, which I think is really important.
Absolutely, and I think that's important for the audience too. Dan, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you have a favourite character that you watch and sort of learn from and emulate when you're on set?
Oh, in terms of longevity and in terms of acting experience, I'd have to go with David Platt, because he's been doing it since he was a kid and he still brings new nuances to that role. So it's that's really impressive.
I mean, he's just had a very big storyline featuring male rape, hasn't he? Do you feel that the soap is the place for those kinds of themes and ideas to be discussed and treated?
I think it certainly can be, yeah. I think that it's our responsibility to really reflect the problems that are going on in the world and not be rose-tinted, really, so people understand, that there are hardships and things like that, and, crime is a real problem.
Now, Dan, I'm going to ambush you. A little bird on set has told me that you are up for a role in a big new soap. I know you can't tell us too much because that soap is just in commissioning stage. What role are you up for, and how hopeful are you of having that central role you talked about at the start of this interview?
So this feels like everything that my career's been working up to, really. So I can't tell you too much, but I can tell you that it'll be based in a sixth form college, and that I'll be playing a young teacher who is conflicted and complicated, so all the things that you look for as an actor, really. I'll be sad to leave my days on Coronation Street, but this feels like the next step in my progression.
I'm so happy to meet you, Dan, and I have a feeling I shall be seeing you again when you're starring in that central role, and we will be talking about your new soap. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's all we have time for. Coming up after the break, we will have the latest football and leisure news. See you then.